What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday night. Hope the week's going well for you. I had kind of a rough week, I suppose. Not rough in like bad things. I just wasn't up to par on Monday and Tuesday and a lot of Wednesday. But yesterday I started picking up steam and I'm back where I want to be, at least a little bit. Getting energy back up, all that craziness. I got some stuff done, like on Monday and Tuesday. I pretty much got the stuff I had to get done, but I really wanted to work on the website. And today is the first time that I really sat around and trying to make things happen for it. And you won't even see it reflected on any of the pages right now. That's where I'm at. So for those catching this on the replay, here's what tonight's chat's all about. I'm going to show all of you a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes at Toypixx, and I want your input. I want to know the stuff that you think is going to be really cool, things that are going to help you with your photos. I've had a lot of thoughts, but my thoughts are always, they can sometimes get a little bit jumbled. They're kind of crazy up here. So yeah, replay crew, if you're still watching this after that very long-winded blah, 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 let me know what are some things you really want to see on this channel or with Toypixx in general that's going to help you take better action figure photos. That's basically the question. The rest of it is just going through and seeing a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. So, Tragic. Sup, Dave in chat? What is up, Tragic? Thank you for stopping by, sir. I appreciate it. We'll also talk a little bit this fine evening about what's going on when it comes to this month's, well, I guess beginning September. We'll talk a little bit about the contests that are happening then, the photo contests, where there are crazy fun prizes. Oonce, oonce, oonce. I shouldn't do things like that. So, yeah, there's plenty to go. John Sitan, yo, man, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Harry, let's make things happen, people. Let's chat. Let's figure out what everybody wants. Let's figure out what needs to be done to make it so you guys really get to hang out and have a blast whenever you see that crazy little Toypixx word, which, by the way, part of what I'll show you tonight is I got to make an adjustment with the attire. Branding. Yeah, anyway, actually, here's the big misnomer. Everybody thinks a logo's a brand. The brand really is what you think when you see the logo and how you tie it to me. Yeah, clearly I need more people. We don't want to be tying things to me so much. So, let's get cracking here. First off, I want to show you what's going on as far as the website, which right now, I know that some of you that have been paying attention for a bit, you're not going to see much news, sadly enough. So, egad. All right, so here's what we've got here. We've got the website going. This is the collection page. And that's something that everybody always wants to see collections. Like it's been one of the big things on X is I've been posting Monday through Friday images and saying, hey, let's see what you've got based on a theme or whatever. So one night I said, your action figure collection and go. And man, that post, that blew up. So I figured this can kind of double as both a gallery and a collection page. And by the way, if you're not on the newsletter, click wherever you can find the action figure photo guide. It is in the video description right now. It's going to be the first place I'm going to be able to really talk about what's going on with the contest and all that. It'll come out this Sunday. So September 1st. I figure that makes some sense. So the way this kind of works is, hey, here's the image. There are several images I took of Bane because I kind of put them all in the review and all that. So you can just go through, you see, okay, there's a Bane, there's a Batman. You basically just get to go through and check out some of these. Now, a lot of them have one image because I've been trying to catch up. I've actually been kind of thinking, okay, how can I spin this so that that's the next photo that I have everybody participate in, because I haven't shot this figure yet. So for instance, Boba Fett here only has this photo. And this one is the one that's up tonight right now. So that's just a little warm up, a little bit of what's going on with the collection page. There's also the about page. And those are basically the only two that are any good. In fact, hold on, let's get to about, and then I'll show you, I'll show you my embarrassingly poor homepage. You'll enjoy that. So here, just talking about figures, photos, and fun. All the good things, and basically just about Toypixx. Nothing too crazy, nothing very long. You kind of need the about page, but you want the collection page. So next I'll want to play with blog. I'll want to play a little with the Patreon page, though I'm kind of thinking maybe I just want the Patreon to link to the Patreon. And then let's see. Oh, here's something that you guys will enjoy. You can laugh at me. This is the homepage. There's a lot of work I have yet to do on the website, obviously. So yeah, all kinds of stuff that needs doing. Oh dear. Harry, Dave, have you seen the new Mezco Junkyard Joe? I have, Harry. And that thing, that's the kind of stuff I want to see from Mezco. It might be the kind of stuff that I actually pick up beyond perhaps a Gomez. Miss Cogsmith, hello! How are you doing this fine evening? All right. It's been a bit. We've got more bookmarked and downloaded. Awesome, Miss Cogsmith. I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, we're going to start taking Toypixx to the next level and going real crazy and all that. Now, one of the questions that I have for all of you, and Harry, I believe, answered part of this in another stream, is I want to know what you want to see on the website. And what Harry's suggestion was like showcasing other photographers and all that. And I'm kind of thinking there should be sort of a Friends of Toypixx page where I'm keeping track, or maybe you guys get to upload somehow. I don't know. I've got to figure out the logistics of it. But we could have like little, maybe, I'm trying to think if it should be profiles for each of you, or like little like profiles and maybe a little mini gallery under everything so people can see some of your work along with links to your various social media pages. So I'm trying to figure out what the best way is to do that. Is that something that the rest of you think is cool? And what other suggestions do you have for what could be going on here on the website? I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. I know that one. I was working at an aftermarket car place, and they did a lot with NASCAR. And so I knew nothing of NASCAR. And me and my business partner at the time sat down and we just watched Talladega Nights, hoping that that was all the research we needed. Turns out, aside from just getting real names, it really was very strange. Talladega Nights was good stuff. Doing pretty good at work and got a lot of recent photos edited of Miss Cogsmith. That is awesome. Congratulations. It's always good to hear that people are doing well. And I love hearing that a lot of recent photos have been edited. Must push the buttons. Hello in Japanese. Uh-oh, Leo. Now you're speaking above my grade level, man. Because I don't know what hello in Japanese is because I'm an idiot. Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. Seriously, I want to get on Babbel, and I want to get on, what was the other? I think one of the Fat DeLoreans was telling me Duolingo is also really good. So I really want to learn Spanish and Japanese. Oddly enough, those are the two languages that I want to mess around with. But, okay, so there's the first question is, what exactly, hey, Brick, how are you, man? What exactly can I do with the website to make it just kind of a cool, cozy place where you guys are like, oh man, that'd be sweet to see. Like one idea I've had is to interview other creatives in the community, because one thing that I've been realizing is everything that all the creatives put together is the stuff that we mash together to take cool toy photos. So maybe some dio artists, maybe some people that are doing some 3D printing, that sort of stuff. Would that be something that would interest everybody? Because I'm almost wondering if maybe sometimes the Thursday night live stream could be just talking to other people, maybe some other photographers, maybe some other creatives in and around the whole toy community. I just, I want to make sure that we're taking good pictures, and I want to make sure that the people that are making the cool stuff get recognized. It's a lot like a little bit like how Brick's doing his stuff, actually. Is Brick's really bringing on some hardcore great people. And my only spin would really be, hey man, this is all the stuff that we need for great toy photos, Hello everyone, it's nice to be here again. Nice to see you, Ref. Evening, folks. Terminator Zero dropped today. It's interesting so far. Mr. Matson, I did not hear, and I have seen Terminator, by the way, although I haven't seen Terminator 2. I say Hasta La Vista Baby a lot, but I haven't seen T2. What exactly is Terminator Zero, and what platform is it on? So these are things I just don't know. But anyway, so those are the things that I'm kind of thinking of when it comes to the website. Let's see, where's that, man? Also, know what else dropped today? I'm trying to think. Today was Brutal Realm's last day, right? Is it still, like, Brutal Realm is still going? Wait a sec. Actually, folks, let's see. I know I need to see T2, but I've got an order now. So I saw Alien. Now I need to see Conan the Barbarian, and then I need to see Aliens. I do know that. Let's see. Terminator Zero's on Netflix. Anime pre-story to Terminator. Ooh, so I definitely need to start seeing some other stuff. Let's see. So, hey, what you guys talking about? Let's see. Talking about photos and other stuff, if you're paying attention. Oddly enough, I do tend to talk about photos. Ooh, Rings of Power, you say? These are things I need to pay attention to. Rings of Power, is that supposed to be... Okay, guys. Again, you know I'm a bad nerd. I've never read Tolkien. I did see the Lord of the Rings movies, but I never went back to them. Is Rings of Power a Lord of the Rings type thing? Oh, I am bad. I am bad. I've got to make adjustments, obviously. So yeah, that's where we're at right now with the website, with trying to figure things out. I want to do, hang on, I want to show you guys something, what I'm thinking of for the homepage from a design standpoint. Just because I'm a brand guy, and when you think about branding, you think about basically, well, when you think about anything, here's a life hack when you're talking about working, doing things for yourself. Always look at what the best are doing. And one of the best brands in terms of what they've built, except maybe they got fairly political recently, so that always ends up hurting your brand a little bit. But Nike, here, let me get out of this here. Sorry, I put up that picture of the Plunderlings Captain Ash on my social media stuff today. And, oh, where is it? There you go. And I put the Gremlins soundtrack to it. So that's in my head. All right, so here is the Nike homepage. And I'm thinking of perhaps taking some of this and going a little more like this. Like maybe this top picture, though, maybe things like instead of winning is winning, just put a giant picture that has to do with the latest, latest posts. Maybe down here, some of the, I don't know. It might be, so up here, maybe latest posts, which I would take from YouTube and other stuff. And down here, it might be shops and things that I found. And down here, it might be something else. Who knows? But it would be more imagery. It wouldn't be probably so much verbiage. And I know this doesn't look like so much verbiage, but it would just be something that would be very simple. That way, it's not too crazy. Woo! It's me again. Mr. Matson. Yep, and it's so bad in the first 6 minutes, it violates Rings of Power continuity. Not to mention Tolkien's. Oh, man. I keep hearing that about a lot of shows right now, is that it's not that, because people will sit there and I love when people bust out woke, because to me it just sounds like, oh, you guys got to come up with better words. But it really, like watching The Acolyte, for instance, it had nothing to do with any of that. I probably said the harshest things ever about The Acolyte, but I got pulled out of that story so many times, not because of canon breaks, like I pretty much decided they're not going to pay attention to what's in Legends and all that stuff, but a lot of the writing was just abysmal. And I say that as someone who watches enough stuff to see that it wasn't that it was bad writing for Star Wars. It was just straight up bad writing. So I've heard that that's a lot of similar stuff with other series where there's bad writing and there's insane lore breaks. All right, Rings of Power is a Lord of the Rings show, but it's not Tolkien. Just uses Tolkien's. Got it, Mr. McDysentery. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, some small tips from experienced photographers, customizers, and painters is never a bad idea. Jamal's Toys, good idea. Thank you. Let's see. So experienced photographers, customizers. Customizers are key. I didn't even think of that. Painters. Yeah, definitely painters. Awesome. 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 So we'll see if I can get some of those on and then use some of the transcripts from this and throw them on the website a little bit. That way people that would rather read than watch a video can check that out. Yes, a version of a prequel that is controversially not faithful to every aspect of Tolkien's work. I enjoy it. I understand why others don't. I do get that. That's always something where you're kind of like, you know what? It might not be exactly faithful, but it's still fun. We're talking about pop culture shows and stuff. Ever since Leo found out about Star Trek, he's been obsessed with that show. Because it reminds me of Space Heroes. Leo was always a Star Trek guy, but I always figured Donnie was a little more in that vein. It's not faithful to any aspect of Tolkien. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See, I'm telling you, Gremlins is in my head right now. Many thanks to Harry. Let's see. It's fan fiction. Well, a lot of it is these days, it seems, sadly enough. I create diodes, do 3D prints, handcrafts, lots of stuff, and solder LEDs to switches. Example, I put an LED in scrap iron's blast effect. After everything is set up, bust out my camera, snap Toypixx. Was it, you sent me a picture, was it tripwire that you had in his little metal detector, like his bomb detector? Didn't you have an LED in that? Good Lord, man. The hair, it jumps. It's a violent, violent thing. Terminator had to drop today, August 29th. The end of the world is always August 29th. Is that what a Mayan calendar said at some point? Yes, woke is overused and wasn't supposed to be a negative comment. Yeah, totally. Every time I hear it, my skin crawls a little bit. Why are you still obsessed with that show? Because it's awesome. It's in space and it's about a space crew and it's awesome. No, Space Heroes is a show in the 2012 show. Ah, okay. I need to check that stuff out still. Great, googly moogly, things are going boom shakalaka. That does sound awesome. Tragic might need to be one of those people that I bring on here if he can bust away. Share your Patreon downloads, of course, and maybe have a gallery of ways that people have used your resources. Ah, that's a good call, Brick. I know that I've got on the website, like you guys, if you look at the homepage, the only ones honestly that work are about collection. I think blog works, Patreon works, disclaimer works. Now, all the things, let me show you here as I'm talking, because I might as well not just sit here and chat, but actually show you what I'm saying. Okay. So let's make sure you've got it up there. Okay, it's there. So now if you're looking at a fairly large screen, you'll see this. If not, just trust me on this one. The stuff below the main menu with the about and the collection and all that, those will actually be post topics. So I've got reviews. So for instance, when I review a figure on YouTube, I'll try and get a transcript or something and drop it into the reviews area. And then that's a new post on Toypixx. Tutorials would be same deal with photo tutorials I do, and maybe bring on guest people to do some tutorials as well. That wouldn't be so bad, actually. You guys could just write awesome tutorials and I'd throw it up there. Photogenic figures, that's just going to be where after every week on Mondays, when I figure out the figures for the past week that I think are going to look good for your photos, I'm going to throw them in there as a post. Free graphics, that's where I'm going to actually put the Patreon stuff. They'll all link to the Patreon page where you can get them, but that's why I'm like, maybe Patreon itself just needs to lead right to Patreon. And then photo contests, which is where I might gather the pictures. I still haven't worked out the logistics of the contest, but I know it starts September 1st, so stay tuned, especially with that whole newsletter thing. So that's what I've got right now. But I think we do want to add in something like interviews and friends of Toypixx or whatever, things along those lines as well. I think that would be very cool. Tragic, if there's anything I can do to assist or answer questions, I'm here to help. Tragic, you're the man. I will see. Yeah, that would be awesome. See, is Dragon Ball technically pop culture? Because I've gotten really into that lately. I've read all the mangas, watched the anime, the movie. I was just wondering. I think so, guys. What do you think? I think I think Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff, I think that counts as pop culture. But I'll leave that up to, others. If you're looking for content to post, I would love to see a video on how you use AI and which one you use. Ah, Harry. I'll tell you now, the one I use is Midjourney. They're real simple. I mean, it's not, you don't sit there and play too much. It doesn't take a lot to figure out what to do. Let's see. I'll just tell you real quick, something that's easy. You just type in there, create a smoke plume against a black background. And so it'll create several options for a smoke plume. You pick which one you want, or if you don't like any of those, you can just click a button that just does the options again until you finally get something you want. And the reason that I do against a black background is because then you throw it into Photoshop, you set that layer to screen, and now you've got smoke without all the black that's behind it. So it's pretty easy to do, but that might be something that I will do there. I know AI isn't the most popular thing, but the more I think about it, it's incredibly practical. Can you imagine? So let's say a kid comes in for his senior pictures, right? And he decides it's just his day. He comes in, he needs his senior pictures taken. He had a crazy zit breakout. The word zit. Ugh. Anyway, he has a crazy breakout. He comes in, the photographer takes all the pictures. He's kind of going through them, and The photographer's talking to mom or dad or both or whoever, and the kid says, "Oh, as long as you can get these zits off my face, all's good." And the photographer goes, "I don't use Photoshop." Like, not being a photographer and not using Photoshop today, I really think is going to be like being a designer, maybe even a photographer in the next 5 or 10 years, and not using AI. So it's not that I love AI. It's that I think if you're a designer or anything, I think it's practical to learn it. Otherwise, you're going to be somebody that isn't going to be hireable. Dude, all movies are like better in my opinion, honestly. What do you mean? Just the sets, costumes nowadays, everything's CGI and green screen. That's one of the things with the original Star Wars movies. I so wish that Lucas had not messed with those. The digital stuff just doesn't look as good. It doesn't look like it flows on those too well. I just miss the old days of shows and movies when they do stuff in real life. Now everything's just green screen, CGI everywhere, backgrounds, people. Yep. What was the big, was it Cleopatra that was just absolutely insane with the amount of extras they had? I think it was Cleopatra that was just this crazy expensive movie for the time. Yo, what's happening, LBZ? Thank you for stopping by, man. You know what? I've got this website sitting there, and it's the most boring area ever. Let's see. Just miss the old days of movies and TV. I agree. Yeah, there is something a little cooler about that. Talking about old TV movies, yeah, honestly, I don't really care. At least I have something in common. All right, guys, we got to answer Gavin's question. DBZ, pop culture? I'm thinking so. Way to bring up AI on a Terminator Day. I heard a theory that if AI ever actually got that advanced, what it would do is be like, yeah, I'm not sticking around these people anymore. It would find a way to go into space and just explore out in other areas because it does not want to mess with us. We're too dumb for it. I like that theory because it doesn't end up like Terminator. AI could help with many things, but generative is where my big problem lies. It makes me wonder about the validity of AI versus Photoshop's editing, filters, etc. Though it does get crazy. Like I was playing with Photoshop. I haven't used generative fill yet, but I was playing with it, and I remember that everybody way back when they didn't exactly like that I was playing with Photoshop when I was either, because nobody's going to do that. That's taking away, doing this thing, doing the bad things, all that stuff. And I understand, but technology is undefeated. So I'm kind of like, oh, we got to learn it. But I mean, I graduated from art school. I don't want to be doing this stuff, but I don't know. Artists seem very regressive when it comes to trying to adapt and use more current tools to make their stuff better. Now, the one argument I've heard when it comes to AI that really does kind of get under my skin a little bit is how exactly and Brick brought this up when I was doing the live stream with him, how exactly are people sourcing the images? That is a problem. Like, we could go back and I should be able to say in my phone, hey, I want this, I want Optimus Prime drawn up in the style of Leonardo da Vinci. That would be hilarious, let's be honest. And nobody would bat an eye because the Renaissance was 600 years ago, 600 years ago, and all's good there. So I think it's going to end up being more a timeline kind of thing, like, but where's that break? Like, is it going to be Andy Warhol, who did a lot of pop art and everything else? Is it going to be, I want my style in the style of Andy Warhol, because at a certain point, not too far from now, his stuff should be public domain. So I know that sitting there and saying something like, I want a comic drawn in the style of Jim Lee is a problem, because Jim Lee's stuff is nowhere near public domain. So there is that stuff that we have to really worry about. It's exactly like the big problem really is, how are they sourcing the AI? All right. That's all I've got on the AI, I think, so far. Tragic. I love using AI. It does make things go a lot faster. Facts on AI, Dave. It will be pervasive. What are you doing, Dave? You know what? That probably did happen in 2001 when somebody was saying, get off that computer and stop using that Photoshop. Let's see. I've been using face dance on my figures, something cool and creepy to make your figures talk sing. I haven't heard of, I've seen that kind of thing, but I've never used, or I've never heard the name of the program that does it. Given how Adobe is integrating AI into Photoshop, it's getting to the point where you can't avoid AI if you use Photoshop. And what's crazy, John, is when Photoshop, I'm trying to remember the year it came out, not Photoshop itself, but they have a feature, like if anybody's been using, any of you guys that have been using Photoshop for a long time, you might remember, I think it was around 2007 or 2008, that they came up with a fill selection called Content Aware. That was AI. We just didn't call it AI. Like, it's reading around the edges and seeing what it can fill with and all that stuff. It's really, generative fill is probably just the next evolution of Content Aware. All right, I got to get off this whole, I want to make it so that I'm not looking at the most boring part of my website. Okay, so let's instead jump to here. This is the Toypixx Twitter page. Well, here, hold on. That's just the feed. And I've been talking a lot about what X has been doing lately, but it's because there's been so much engagement and people have been so cool on here. Like that 2058, I probably had about 500 fewer people that were following Toypixx 2 months ago. So people have just been really cool on here. This is a great place where everybody gets together. See, this is kind of one of those pictures. Your funny action figures, a photo thread, and go. And so people are commenting after that. They're reposting. They're doing all the things. It's getting views. It's just a fun place to do the things, to hang out. So if you're not on X, well, I don't know that this is enough of a reason to get on X, although I am pretty hilarious. Anyway. But if you are on X, check out Toypixx, man. Take some photos, comment with some of your stuff. That would be fun. This one was fun for me, by the way. When I found out yesterday was Jack Kirby's birthday, open. I had to take this shot. That was fun. That's a much better picture to have on the screen than what I just had on the screen. So yeah, it's not a, I don't even think of this as a shameless plug. It's just where we're having a lot of fun. All right, speaking of which, I wonder what April, Casey Cry, and Shinigami are doing right now. Probably protecting New York while we're gone. Oh, they're doing great. They've got this. I'm probably going to end up with a copyright strike here because I can whistle that Gremlin song, ladies and gents. Okay, probably just dealing with the purple dragon. Let's see. I mean, like, not as bad, guys. Just a bad guy group. Oh, dear. Ah, Skulator. Artists need their gigs, but they need to have tools to aid them with AI better than just text prompts. It's going to be here. A UI partnership suite like Photoshop or Cool Edit or Fruity Loops might help. I haven't heard of, like, okay, so I read Fruity Loops and right away I thought Fruit Loops, but is there actually something called Fruity Loops? Must push the buttons. John, I agree. It's like we don't even need to actually work on an image. Just drop a few words, get a weird interpretation of it, and wonder how many stolen arts it referenced. Yep. And that's where the problem is. That's where things get dicey for me. And several of these are facing lawsuits right now. So I definitely want to know the upshoot of those. But AI's here. It's going to come no matter what happens with a lawsuit. So I think it's practical to learn it. Purple dragons may not be that dangerous, but no, actually just not dangerous at all. I bet Casey's probably getting really bored beating up the usual. The turtles, I have to think, are just like, we've been beating up people for 40 years. We're pretty good at it now. Might be time to retire. Yep, I can too, Skew Raider. Just hope they can protect New York till we get back. Let's see. I'm sure Twilight is thinking, oh dear. All right. Let's keep this train moving. People are so cool. I think AI is going to let people who don't have the talent or training to express themselves. It is. And I think what it's going to do, obviously, all these tools are going to kind of democratize everything. But if you're really good, your stuff's still going to be better. So the real job is to sit there and just constantly work on improving what you actually do. And then using AI, using Photoshop, using all those tools to just punch it up to get it to that much better. Like I've played with a Captain America picture that I took, I think it might have been like 2018, 2019. And I made it look so much better just by a few things that I've learned in Photoshop since then. And then you start wondering, well, is that okay? Is that a good thing? Like, where's the line? And it's tough to figure out. If AI starts writing comic books, I'm taking AI down. A lot of people say AI might as well be writing comic books today. But I thought The Last Ronin was really good. I've heard check out some more stories, so I might have to do that. Agreed. I think if artists stay relevant, they'll dig it too. New UI needs to be made for that. Let's see, for the partners, they'll be cool with it. I just think artists are really slow to adapt. And I know this. I've been around them for a long time. I hope they don't fight this so long that they're no longer employable. And I know several of them might do that. Check out My Little Pony, TMNT, Disney. You know what? I forgot all about that. I will definitely check it out, though. Thanks for the reminder. Egad. Love that King Kirby pick, Dave. Thank you, Skew Raider. I appreciate it. I would rather sit here and look at this than, the blank spot that was sitting on my homepage there. That was rough to look at. Excellent Kirby shot. Thank you, Miss Cogsmith. I appreciate that. I wish Captain America had been here. That would have been a lot of fun. But alas, he was not. Cool Edit and Fruity Loops are audio recording and music suites. Okay, I guess Fruity Loops for audio recording, that makes sense. Cool Edit, I wouldn't have thought of that, but Fruity, just the word loops in there, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. Let's get a couple more here from the boys. Then I'll continue on. Oh, I had it up, then it disappeared. There was a lot of hate, I think, in that window. Only because when I clicked it, it went away. Donnie, let's see. If AI gets so popular, please do not become an evil dictator. I don't know. I wouldn't promise anything, Donnie. Oh, man. Things are trying to slow down a little bit on me. Not cool. All right. Now, just feeling, let's see, we're just stuck here forever. I'm not complaining. It's just the what if something really bad happens? They'll be fine. Like I said, people have been fighting for 40 years. Skew Raider, creativity will still be needed. Like you're really saying, Dave, imagination needed still. I think so. And I think that's where the importance of really just constant improvement needs to be done anyway. Because one of the things that tends to happen in the creative space is whenever a new technology comes around, this is terrible, but it seems like that's the first thing people want to replace because it takes a long time to do. So, yeah, that's, yeah. And we're not there to help. Let's see. Twilight is pretty well good at magic. Oh, yeah. I forgot Twilight was the pony, man. They're gonna be fine. All right. One more, and then we'll get to the next thing I'm talking about here. It's okay, everything will be all right. Got back to watching the live stream. Yeah, but I'm gonna step out. All right. That's what I expect he would do. Okay. Let's get out of we don't need to show the Twitter anymore. Instead, it's me. Hi. We will go next. This is all kinds of fun, guys. Like I'm kind of nerding out with all the craziness that's going on right now. So this is the Patreon page. Nothing crazy here right yet, but I'm going to end up redoing, not redoing entirely, but there's going to be some new things going on with the tiers so that you can kind of see what's up. Things will make a lot more sense because right now that's a whole lot of verbiage going on with the tiers. And it's going to be for entering the Patreon contest anyway. It's going to be the Grande tier, which is the $5. YouTube will be absolutely free. The only difference is YouTube's going to have a lot more people than I have right now. I mean, the Toypixx Patreon's pretty small right now, so I think that's the one that you have a better chance of winning. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying give me $5. I'm saying mathematically there's going to be fewer people in the Patreon one, so mathematically you'll have a better chance of winning. But there's all kinds of stuff here, and I was trying to get something. I was trying to explain something, and I didn't explain it very well when I was talking to Brick about this stuff. Let me see if I can get to. Oh man, I'd have to scroll all the way down. If you guys scroll all the way down on the Toypixx homepage here on Patreon, you'll scroll all the way and you'll find basically some posts that were at the very beginning that'll link you to all the images, all the effects, all the graphics, all the Photoshop and high-res image files, all those things. So if you roll all the way down, you can grab them. Those are totally free. So yeah, I'm still the goal with Toypixx. In fact, forget goal. The thing that's going to happen with Toypixx is when it comes to action figure photography, when it comes to trying to teach this stuff and just having fun with it, you guys are never going to get charged for it. It's just, keeping them on Patreon doesn't load up my server. So yeah, that's what I've got here. And you can see I'm really trying to get it all together, trying to organize it a little better for me. You can see Patreon exclusive videos. I think I've only done one of those, so that barely counts. Then we've got graphics. We've got onomatopoeia, which if you don't know the word is basically whenever, like the 66 Batman, whenever he'd punch and you'd see pow, it's just a sound to simulate the action. So the pow was onomatopoeia. Now we've got high-res JPEG and Photoshop files here, so you could click on that and grab any of those you want. And the reason I do that, I'm not sure that I'm clear on Patreon about it, but I don't know that I'm so clear outside of Patreon, is because if you are a graphic designer, you might be somebody, well, there's three reasons, but one that I'm thinking of now is if you are a graphic designer, you might want to just check out how someone else structures their files. Now, if you're a graphic designer, you might look at this and say, this guy's insane. There's no way I'm going to structure my file this way. And that's totally cool, because sometimes when I'm done, I'm going, huh? And then I can't find a layer that I know I've been working on, that kind of stuff. So I get that. There's also, I want people that are in any kind of pop culture shop, whether it's comics, whether it's cards, whether whatever it is, or even games, all that. I want them to be able to grab these images and use them on their websites, on their marketing newsletters, whatever they need to do. I want them to be able to get it, because oftentimes what happens is people don't put out a lot of stuff because they don't have the materials. They don't have the digital assets, as the people say, to make it happen. So if you're running or know anyone who runs a pop culture shop, let them know about this. Those images are free. If they think they can use them for their stuff, go for it. And we've got the digital backgrounds, we've got the effects, and Photoshop actions, which is another thing I've only done once. So remember, any of this stuff will always be free. So if you want to check it out, head to the Toypixx Patreon page, give it a look-see. Now, let's see what we've got going here. All right, Leo, take your time. All right, now we can get back to this. I'm going to check on it, make sure it doesn't do anything stupid. Oh, I'm not sure that's ever good. Looks like it's just me and you. Looks like it. All right, John. Cool beans. Have a good night, man. Enjoy the flick. All right, and guys, if you have any suggestions as I'm moving along, things that you think might be super helpful for you, let me know. Because if you see something on the Patreon and you're like, a section that does this would be super helpful, let me know, and I'll see about adding it and all that stuff. Now, let's get out of here. Whew, here's me again. Don't worry, I'm not going to be here long. All right, what order do I have here? Let's go here. Now, this is the Toypixx Pinterest page, oops, which I need to, well, it should be the Toypixx Pinterest page. Hang on, there we go. All right, this is the Toypixx Pinterest page, which I need to get back to updating. You can see the logo is not even correct. It's not even accurate. What am I doing? But one thing to let you know, in case anybody here is watching and you're trying to do your own thing, Pinterest is one of the very few social media that's totally cool with you clicking a thing and then linking out of it to go to a different website. All other social media, they don't like that so much. So that's why Pinterest is so good for marketing. So it's something that I need to take a lot more seriously. And what I'll be doing is every time there's a new post, every time there's maybe a new image or whatever, I'll be creating 1 or 2 pins at least to send people to those places. So if you want to check me out on Patreon, cool beans, but you probably don't need to. Like, this will be more for people that are just scouring around the internet and they see something and think, well, let's see what happens there. But you're all paying attention. You're all doing a whole lot of stuff when it comes to Toypixx, and I hugely appreciate it. So now, whoop. See, do you think Dragon Ball is pop culture? I believe so. I had a feeling it was. Boring. Hey, at least with Mikey and Donnie, they're not going to get in a fight. I meant I'm arriving late because it was movie night. We're rewatching, in my case, Loki. Oh, okay. Cool beans, John. No worries, man. I got to get that out of my head. Stinking gremlins. All right, me and Raph are back. You two knuckleheads didn't do anything while we're gone, right? No, good. Now we can, of course. Raph and Leo are the real troublemakers in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mikey gets a bum rap. Miss Cogsmith, does anyone know a good replacement for Photoshop usable on Windows or phone app? I'm having a rough time doing specific effects with just the apps I have. The thing that people have asked me about or have talked about to me the most is Snapseed, but you probably have been messing with that if you've got it on your phone. I don't know. I've used Photoshop for so long, I've kind of gotten used to it. I know that I need to branch out a little more. Like, specifically, I need to play with Canva a lot more. And I feel like I should play with Snapseed quite a bit. What was the one that they had that was free Photoshop? GIMP. It was GIMP, wasn't it? Because you might be able to use that if that's still around. My assumption would be that it is. But honestly, I just haven't gone outside of Photoshop as much as I should. Let's see, me and Rainbow need your help real quick. Sure thing. Let's see, right there. Sorry, guys, the split. Okay, don't fight with Dash. Oh boy, the turtles and the ponies. There's a lot of violence. GIMP is great. All right, cool beans. So GIMP must still be a thing. I tried using GIMP and I couldn't get something to crop. I know it would have just taken a YouTube video to figure it out, but the fact that I couldn't get something to crop drove me crazy. I adore Snapseed, and I may be missing an option with it for effects. I was playing with it some. One thing that I want to start adding to the whole filter, the Patreon and everything, is coming up with things that people can use with Snapseed. I just don't know how to do it yet. And right now, I've been trying to build all this up enough where I also haven't taken the time to learn it. So once this stuff kind of happens, then I'll do more of that. In fact, what's going on right now is I'm really making a big push to get the website done. Well, done, at least so I only have to work on it an hour or two a day instead of just totally swamp my time with it. And then after that, what I'm going to want to do is do a lot more content creation. So it'll be on YouTube more, which is fun to do, to be honest. And then doing the Twitter, doing the Pinterest, all that stuff. So that's kind of what's going on there. Plus another project that I'm not exactly going to talk about just yet, but it's going to be very helpful to everybody. So stay tuned. It'll make me happy when it's done too. Snapseed is okay. GIMP is a comparable software for PC. Okay. Yeah, I need to. I've been a designer so long in the Photoshop world. I feel like I need to branch out. Even me, like, I'll talk about artists being regressive. I'll take a step forward by trying totally new technology, but I won't check out stuff outside of Photoshop for photo editing. I need to fix that. Yeah, I won't. You know what's usually who starts the fights? Okay, later, guys. See you around. It's been a while since I did a Raph impression. All right, let's see here. All right, I don't know how I keep forgetting about GIMP. I know how I do. It's the dumbest thing. When I couldn't crop something, I'm like, nope, this isn't for me. Of course, Miss Cogsmith, I'm sure everybody else helped you out before I even got to it. Am I the only one that thinks that, let's see, basically one and the same? They're both hot-tempered. Yeah, definitely the same. I know people like this. There's a lot of hot-tempered people out there. I used to be one, believe it or not. Or maybe that was more arrogant. Oops. I used Blender to create a 3D print for a local brewery by me. I've seen people use it. I've heard of Blender. I haven't played in the three-dimensional world so much. Definitely not 3D printing. That's something else I want. Like, I want to get into Dios and I want to get into 3D printing, but that's just going to be, it's going to be down the road a bit. Let's see, create a beer tapper. Nice. Ba, 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 ba. So many buttons, so much slowness. That's right, gentlemen. If you're watching this and you are indeed a gentleman, you're looking at Patreon. I know we don't usually use that, but it has been helpful. See, I swear those two fight like cats and dogs. Wait, is that how Mickey and Donnie cut them off? Literally all the time. That's what I'm saying. Mikey and Donnie, I mean, Donnie's boring, but that might just be me. But Mikey gets a bum rap for being a troublemaker. Blender is a pretty good video editor. Man, I haven't played with Premiere yet. I gotta play. Like, I've basically been using iMovie, and iMovie is not Premiere. And everybody tells me it's just like Photoshop. I know Photoshop. I should be able to use Premiere. I tried Canva a little, but it was not intuitive, and I just gave up for now. That was me with GIMP. So that might be something, maybe something you and I both need to try get back to there, John. Me GIMP, you Canva, then me Canva. See, okay, nice to know. I guess me and Raph also fight like that. Let's see, pretty much. YouTube do fight like half the time, kind of, sort of. Yeah, Raph and Leo, they're the trouble. They're the trouble when it comes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Tragic. Blender can be used for photo editing as well, all free and user-friendly, and plenty of videos on YouTube. Does anybody else just not... Every time I have a question, like I was playing with Illustrator today. Oh, that's something else I'll show you. And I was going nuts. I haven't used Illustrator in a while, and so they switched up some things, so I couldn't find some of the menu options. And so I was on YouTube for forever trying to figure out where it was that I was looking for. So before we go, let me get out of this screen. And now let us go to, you know what, hang on. Let's go to this. Let's go to this next. So you can see this was me playing with Illustrator a little bit. What the goal is going to be, I'm working on something, and you'll see that in the next thing I show. What the goal is going to be is to give this kind of that whole messy graffiti look. But what I need to do is use the Pathfinder and figure out how to make it work so that it will erase these white lines from these white letters. So like what you're seeing here as far as the pattern's concerned shows up or like disappears into the white letters. The white letter part disappears as well, just revealing the black underneath it. And I've tried selecting them all and then selecting the words underneath, and all that stays is the N. So I've got to be a little more, got to mess a little more finesse-like, and that'll probably be something I try to figure out and finish up tonight. Because it's just, I don't know about you guys, but when I get started on a project, I get irritated until the project is done. This is what I was working on before I started doing this, before I started doing the live stream. And I was going, maybe I can cancel the live stream. No, I cannot cancel the live stream just because I was getting so annoyed at it. Just realized that we're 2D in this dimension. Have we not noticed that? Guess so. Miss Cogsmith, whoa, Blender is free? Consider it downloaded. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Now there might need to be some playing that I was totally unaware of. Tragic. You're welcome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I did not know. Like, I have the Creative Suite, so I think I can download Premiere and be good. And if I can, I'm set. But if I can't, ooh, Blender might be something I need to check out. Must push buttons. First other turtles to mention, now in Equestria. I'm really surprised how we just noticed the judging. We've been here for a few weeks, just now realizing this. We're dumb. Nah. I'm not dumb, just looks at his hand in 2D. All weird being 2D now. Okay, so if I didn't make it clear with that whole thing when I was trying to figure out how best to explain what's going on with that Illustrator file, basically all the white that you see going over the white letters, I will delete that white. Both, like all this scribbly stuff will disappear, and then all the whites underneath all the scribbly stuff will disappear as well. So it's just going to leave the letters plus the black that's underneath the letters. So I've got to figure out, I've got to play a little more with that. But yeah, Illustrator, I've always been good with Illustrator when it comes to logo design, but when it comes to other stuff, like I created a picture a long time ago with it that was kind of just a fun cartoony thing, but I'm not, like Photoshop is fairly intuitive for me. Illustrator is far less so. So yeah, now let's get out of that, and then we'll get to, let's see, stop screen. We will get to the last thing I was going to show you guys. And again, let me know if there's something that you're seeing where you're like, oh man, you should do this, you should do that. And now this is why, let's see, there we go. This is why I'm doing that have fun and happy snapping graphic, is that's going to go on the back of this t-shirt. So I've finally gotten, I mean, Toypixx has had these shops and all that stuff. I think I've got one with Redbubble and Zazzle and Teespring, or what maybe is Spring now. So I've had stuff up there for a while, but I've never done anything with it. And in fact, on Spring here, all I had was a Toypixx hoodie. So that's no good. Things need to be adjusted. But what I'm doing here, let me see if it'll let me show you. Right here, obviously, is the front. And then if I click on the back, I was hoping it'd just show you the back. Well, basically, the back is empty. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put, I wonder if I click design. No. Anyway, sorry. What I'm going to do is take that have fun and happy snapping once I'm all set with it and put it on the back of this shirt. And there's other shirts that I'm considering here. I think I basically need a bad nerd shirt. I think that would just be funny. And we'll see. I don't know that that would sell all that much. But I also need a Die Wallet Die shirt, or Die Wallet Die shirt. And I think that would be one of those things. I wouldn't even have to put the Toypixx logo on it. That would be something that would appeal to all collectors. Like every collector of everything understands the pain that our wallets feel. So I might do something like that. And of course, I need to create a graphic for Mr. Stabby the Wallet, because that's an angry wallet, and it's always when we're getting ready to buy stuff. So there's a lot I'm messing with, a lot I'm trying to just figure out. Obviously, there's not going to be too many people that are just going to buy a straight up Toypixx logo shirt, which I understand. But the other stuff could be a lot more fun and would be something that the general public might get into a little more. So that's the last plan. If anybody has any other ideas for shirts, that would be that would be fun. I don't know. All these designs are a blast for me. Dave, if you get into Blender, you should do some live videos going over some creating something or editing a video. Since it is free, others can follow as long as they have a decent PC. That's a good call, Tragic. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Crap. Now I have to think. Now I have to turn on my brain. I hate when that happens. First, it was the 87 dimensional wonder if we're going to meet another version of ourselves from like another 2D world. Sometimes foreshadowing as well. Foreshadow. I love voices. Awesome merch, Dave. Thank you, Ski Raider. I appreciate it, man. It's just something I haven't messed with a lot. It's stuff that I just want to, you plant your stuff all over the place. It has a better chance of doing well. That is a great shirt. Thank you, Miss Cogsmith. I appreciate it. And for anybody that ever is looking at shirts and wondering why they're so pricey, just the fact that I have red in the middle there, that adds a second color. Colors make these things pretty pricey, especially for one-offs. So I might also do one that doesn't have the red in the middle. That would be much cheaper. But that depends on how well, if people really dig this stuff, Stabby merch, remember? Let's go, the wallet die. I think Mr. Stabby just needs his own shirt. Doesn't even need to have the Toypixx logo anywhere. It's just an angry, angry wallet. See, we'll wrap. Let's see, you're fighting again. Oh, great. Now we got to leave the live stream and go stop those two. Looks like a see ya, everyone. See ya, Gavin and the Turtles. I'm sorry, Gavin couldn't be here tonight. Dave, I hope you make your t-shirts 4XL tall for us more robust people. I got to find out what the sizes are. I got to check them out. Like this one, I would prefer to just set it so it was black, but I don't have any problem with going as big as these things will allow me to. I'm just not sure how big they'll allow me to go. So it'll be more generally with these kinds of shops, they don't worry so much. Like you can get whatever the shirt is in whatever size you want. What it more has to do with is the limits that the creator puts on them. So I might say, you know what, my logo should never show up on anything that's not black. And so you could only get a black version of the shirt. I'm not going to do that, but that would be my preference. So there's that. But I don't see me ever putting any kind of limit on the size. So as long as these stores will allow the sizes, they're in. You'll be able to get them. Yes, always a great consideration. Yeah, I know. And I am not very large, so I had to go the other way. Dave, sorry you couldn't stick around, but we really got to stop Raph and Rainbow before they kill each other. Put your weapons away. That's all right. No worries, Leo. Take care of the brothers and the ponies. See, I'll get a shirt. Tragic, you're the man. I appreciate it, man. I'm sure that I will have these things up, like maybe down below, or I'll put them on the website. I'll post them wherever. You know me, I'm shameless. I'm actually not that shameless. All the affiliate links I put up, I'm like, these are things that I think people would think were really cool, so I'm going to put them up. Now the shirts, that's shameless. Seriously, knock it off. The two of you are arguing like little kids. Calm down. I'm going to kick your butt. Oh boy, love to see you try Skittles. There's a lot of anger between turtles and ponies, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, no, here's my tablet. Toypixx live stream. Hey, everyone, don't know why. Leo and the others had my tablet. You know why, man? They were watching the live stream. No worries. Feels good having this thing back. I swear, people keep stealing it, stealing it from me. First, I give it to Freddie. He loses it. Now, apparently, Leo had it. I need to put it in a safer place. It happens, man. I always have to lock up my wallet. Like, I need to lock the knife drawer when I go to bed because of my wallet. Thanos Copter, what's up, man? Thank you for stopping by. See, you can put a couple of your photos on a shirt or two. I'm kind of dicey about that, and here's why. I am very conscious of the fact that Disney is very litigious. So it's one thing to, I mean, that's part of why, not really, I'd give them away anyway, but it's part of why I don't sell prints of the pictures that I've shot and everything. I've even thought, how can I get around this? And what I could do is sell frames for an obscene amount of money or something just higher than the frame would cost, and then have people pick out a photo, that kind of thing. But I don't ever want to get in potential trouble when it comes to Disney or any other big conglomerate out there, because that would be bad. That would put the kibosh on Toypixx. And I would not be happy with that. So I have thought about it. I've tried to figure out how to make it work. And I don't know that I can find a way, not a way that I would be totally comfortable with, because let's be perfectly honest, their lawyers are going to beat my lawyers, no matter who it is. Egad, must push buttons. But hey, you've got them on Patreon. You can download them for free and print them on one of your shirts. See, everyone, I'm going to leave the live stream. Really got to find a place to hide this thing. I swear, if someone steals it one more time, kick their sorry excuse for a butt. Have fun, Gavin. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Woo! The people saying hola. I like it. I only need to lock up my wallet for myself. See, that gets dangerous, though. That gets even worse. I just lock up the knife drawer. That way the wallet can't be too violent. Great idea. That King Kirby is a contender. I appreciate that, Skew. I do. Like, I'm even nervous. I don't want to do, I could do a lot of prints of these photos and take them to an artist's alley. I don't want to do it. I just think, I think Disney at some point, because they're not very smart when it comes to PR, to be perfectly honest. And I think at some point, they're just going to drop the hammer on people. Maybe next time I can give this thing to Sonic. At least he can give it back. Or not. He can just run away with it. You have to check with the estate, but they might be game for it. That's true. That's true. Except then I'd also have to deal with NECA, the Kirby estate, then Marvel itself, which is owned by Disney. Yeah, don't F with a mouse. You don't want Mickey knocking on your door. That's the best Mickey I've got. Harry, I wouldn't worry about Disney. You would have to sell a lot of shirts to get them to notice. I know, but I just, There's a lot there that I just don't want to deal with. What do you guys think of the size of Toypixx on that shirt? Is it too big? Is it just right? Anyone is wondering how I got my tablet? You should imagine, because I ain't telling you nothing. Have fun guessing, everyone. I'm seriously leaving now. Later. See you, Gavin. Enjoy, man. Kirby by himself, dreaming abstracts can work as a shirt with the estate. Always away, but yeah, tread smartly. Yeah, honestly, and like I said, these things are available for all of you. You can go to the Patreon, download whatever images you like, and then like that Kirby that you saw on the Twitter page is already up there. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It'll be up there tomorrow. So just go there, download it if you want it, and print it on a shirt. Put it in a you can put it in a frame, you can do whatever, you can save it as a wallpaper. All that stuff is totally free. It's yours if you want it. Mr. Stabby's days forever. My LOL. Mr. Stabby is angry. I did a video once where I grabbed a huge knife and my wallet, and I'm like, yep, that seems accurate. Logo looks like a good size. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. See, great size, great merch. Will be dope. Thank you, Skew Raider. It is fun, and I've always liked the black and red combination. You throw white in there, and but that could just be me. Harry, little smaller and lower on the shirt, maybe. Harry, don't be dissenting, man. All right, cool beans. I'll play. And it could be that I just make a few of these shirts and mess with them and find out which one sells the best. That kind of thing, you know? Because it doesn't, if you guys ever try and design your own shirt and have your own store running, you don't pay to have your own store. You just pay whatever it is a cut when something sells. So right now, this would be Teespring. They would get whatever cut it is that we have in the percentage number, dollar, whatever. So they'd get the cut, I'd get the profits, and I don't have to spend a dime doing, like, keeping the account. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that we need to go over that you guys have questions on that maybe can be something that would be helpful for you. Like if you think of, before I log out here, what do we have? I'm going to quit the live stream at 8:30. So I know that usually I just kind of cut out in a hurry. This time, let's go till 8:30. Well, 8:30 Eastern, basically another 12 minutes. So think about the stuff that I've shown you guys. If you think of anything that would make your lives easier as photographers or just more fun, what kind of insane stuff you want to see, let me know in the chat. I want to make sure that we're doing things that everybody's going to find entertaining, that we're going to actually enjoy, things that don't feel like a slog for anybody. Except, of course, you know, me when I'm putting together the website, because I am not a web designer. Luckily, I am getting more used to WordPress. So, yeah, and if you can't think of anything, fire off any other topics. Like I saw that Junkyard Joe. He does look pretty entertaining. And then I saw the Evil Dead 2-pack that was, it's NECA and it's Entertainment Earth. I thought that looked pretty good. I didn't put up the Spawn figures today, like as far as affiliate links are concerned, because when it comes to photography, there's no extra heads, there's no extra hands. It was basically, they were both a 5 out of 7 for me, you know, and I want, if I'm going to put them up and suggest them for people as something that I think would be great for photography, I want it to be at least a 6 out of 7. And they just weren't quite there. which is a shame. Had they just come with extra hands, I might have been tempted, honestly, because I like Spawn. It's just they don't. It's like they're great. They look great. They just don't come with enough for the whole photogenic thing. And I know that Todd's never going to let anybody else do a Spawn figure. I did pre-order 2 Junkyard Joe. Nice, Tragic. He does look cool. Like, those are the things that I need to think about is, like, one of the reasons that you haven't seen a lot of reviews is because I'm spending more to build Toypixx, because I'm thinking, okay, here's the idea. I'm going to build Toypixx, and then eventually the stuff I missed out on, I'll end up doing much better because I didn't spend that money on that stuff, and start piling it up, and then Toypixx will do better, and then I can go and pick up the stuff that I've missed. Though, I'm not going to be missing everything. I will still be getting stuff. I've got, what do I have? I have a couple things that are going to be, or, well, one thing's on its way right now. The other thing, and let me know if you guys ordered this, because I have been to their site and it still says unfulfilled, but I thought they'd be out by now, are the NECA First Turtles. Did anybody else order those? Because I ordered them, and I want to preface this by saying every time I've dealt with NECA's customer service, they've been great. So I just don't want to hound them. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to know, did you guys order the First Turtles, and are you still waiting on a confirmation email that they've been sent? That's what I'm curious about. Let's see. Skew Raider, maybe Mafex Spawn one day. He did have a 1/6 Metacom Real Heroes. Not likely, but maybe. I did not know that. Oh, that would be awesome. Man, I would go nuts for a Mafex Spawn. Like, I don't even know Spawn that well. I just love the look of the figure. Like, I just love the look of the character. Like, that medieval Spawn looks so cool. But I know it's just going to be kind of typical McFarlane Toys articulation and everything else. Although so much paint, it looks so good. So it is tempting a little bit. The accessories look freaking awesome. I will take one apart and see if I can use the butt for a Cobra Bat and use the soft goods on Duke or a Grunt. Don't know. I got 8 to 12 weeks to think about it. Yeah, that Junkyard Joe does look pretty good. Miss Cog Smith, I'm happy with how Mezco and Super 7 have treated me so far. That's awesome. And you know, those are, you would, of course, and I'm not saying this to you exactly, it's just the way my head goes. Of course, somebody is going to bring up 2 lines that I've never gotten anything from. I take that back. I did get a weapons pack from Mezco once, and it was pretty cool. I have a little pink grub. So there's that. But yeah, I have been thinking, the more I see the Mezco stuff that's their own stuff, I think it's pretty cool. The one thing that would irritate me, though, is let's say one came out and suddenly I was just going, oh, that's the one. That's the one that, come hell or high water, I'm going to get that figure. And I'm on there the second it goes up and I miss it. I would be done with Mezco. Like, I would be done with Mezco before I started. So that's the kind of stuff that kind of bothers me when it comes to all that. But I understand that's just part of the Mezco game, too. All right, let's see here. What do we have so I can get off the... Let's get off the Teespring look here, because that's no fun. Let's go. This was the one. This one was honestly a lot of fun for me to do, guys. Let's see. This is it. And it honestly didn't take that long either. So if you don't know, I have a high school creations diorama. And so I set that up. I set a table. You can see the table that Jack's sitting at there. I've got Thor's Mjolnir sitting there. There's a coffee cup. So it's a pretty simple setup. Those little horns sticking out on the bottom right that you see just behind the table, that was the little red and gray monster that came with Jack Kirby, or Kirby, I suppose, in the NECA Turtles line. And he just didn't show up much for the shot when it came to the angle I wanted to shoot at. So that's who that is. But then obviously it's just Mafex Iron Man, Mafex Thor, and I really shined a light. So the LEDs that I have are kind of workhorse lights. I've talked about them in the past. And it was an orange light that I shine through at a pretty bright setting, but it's not like straight up orange, right? Like it's not like if I shine a blue light through there, there's going to be a lot of blue. This orange is more like a warm tint. So it was a little different. And so what I did was I took this shot and I made some selective color adjustments. I might have played with levels and brightness and contrast as well, but selective color is something I always use. And I used a photo filter because even though it was a warm light, see all this orange that's on the walls and everything else, even though it's a warm light, that orange didn't really come through that well. So I did that. I had created a lens flare with Midjourney, which is the AI tool I was talking about earlier, put it against a black background, and then dropped it in here, set the layer to screen, and there you go. It wasn't that difficult a shot. And that's another thing, like we talk about AI and everything. Had I not gotten the shot to look right initially, none of this other stuff would have mattered. So because I've been taking photos for so long and because I constantly try to improve, I was able to take a shot that was going to work, that now I can drop the stuff in and find the AI tool that just made that lens flare a little, or yeah, making that a little easier. Because that's not your standard Photoshop lens flare. And that's where I think AI right now is okay, depending, again, if it's ripping off other artists. Like maybe what happens is this thing scours NASA databases, and NASA's pretty public, I believe, government stuff and all that, and they source images from that. Chances are you're getting the moon from NASA, or you're getting these lens flares from something else that's public domain. So I'm totally good using effects like this when it comes to AI. But if it comes out that, yeah, they kind of host a lot of people, I will be far less good and be looking for a different AI generator. So that's basically what I did here when it came to this photo. I also, people have talked to me about how this table is a little high. The reason that I've got him looking okay is it comes with stools, or I'm sorry, the table's a little low. This table set comes with stools that have little seats on them, but the glue isn't very good on the seats, so I was able to just pop off the seat, and that sat him low enough to make this look right. So yeah, that's Kirby for you. No response from NECA on Super Alf yet, Dave, so things are looking to be going in your favor. John, that's awesome. You let me know what I owe you, man. That'll be fun. That'll be cool to get here. If they don't get back to you. And like I said, man, I've always had great experience with NECA's customer service. I know a lot of people say the opposite, but they've always been very cool to me. That Kirby figure is definitely on my to get list soon. Maybe this weekend if my Target hasn't gotten their Cowabunga display set yet. Oh, yeah. I feel like Kirby is one of those figures that if you grew up with comics, people are just after him. And yet, so because I feel like that, every time I go to a store that actually has a Kirby, I almost want to pick it up and just be like, what's wrong with you people? This thing needs to be bought by all of you. It's shocking, shocking, I say, that Kirby is hanging out on pegs. Love the Kirby figure. So darn cool. Plus, it's from one of my favorite TMNT comic issues. Man, I loved those one-shots. I got to go back. I want to reread the Mirage line, like the Mirage Turtles. They were a great, great comic. Nick has been great. Got me a replacement shirt for Alf quickly and easily. See, that's awesome. They sent me, like, I showed them a stress fracture, or not a stress fracture, just a stress mark, like where the plastic had turned a little white. They sent me an entire, it was on one of the legs, and they sent me an entire lower half of a turtle. Like, what? I didn't need this, guys. You could have just told me how to replace the joints and I would have been cool. John, I still have Stan Lee to pick up, and now the McFarlane figure. I've been fighting myself about the McFarlane figure. He's just not quite the right height, but I feel like I need him because he comes with the first spawn that he drew. All right, folks, that is it. So thanks as always for stopping by and saying hi. That's always appreciated. Oh, wait a sec. I need to get a good size Stan Lee. I have a tiny one. Good Lord, John. Really fortunate to have completed my original Mirage series of. Oh, wow, Miss Cogsmith. That's awesome. Congratulations. Skew Raider on that. Take care of yourself. And thanks again, folks. Massively appreciated. You know that. It's so much fun to just sit here and chat this stuff with you. So, until next time, have fun. Happy snapping. See ya. And now I'm hitting end stream, and all things are going to be awkward. Let's see what I can do to make it more awkward.